Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of Surrey Tennis Talks. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Justin. Justin, how are you doing?
Hey, guys. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. You, Lewis?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, a crazy week. Everyone's adapting to the news. So I think what we're probably quite keen to get is an update from you about county training. What does that mean for county training? And all the players I'm sure are wondering.
Yeah, well, tennis lockdown too, because that's what we're really interested in, isn't it? And it's a bit mad, bit crazy, but we have to respect the rules, I guess. Or on this show, anyway, we have to respect the rules, right?
Certainly.
Yeah, unfortunately, all tennis activity, unless you're at a school and it's during school day, during curriculum time between 9 and 4, tennis has to stop. Clubs have to close. Park courts are locked up. I wonder what you'd do if you walked past a tennis court and it wasn't locked up, Lewis, and you had your racket and balls. Let's not go there. But
Who knows?
just keep walking. Keep walking, I suppose. Keep walking. But, walls are pretty good, though. Walls are quite good. I don't think walls have been locked down, have they?
No, they certainly haven't.
Oh, walls have not been. Garage doors, have they been locked down?
No, certainly not.
No.
Certainly
Are
not.
you allowed to do like volley to volley in your front yard? Are you allowed to do that?
Pretty sure you are.
Okay, as long as you're 2 meters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can work on your first volley when you're a little bit 2 meters from
Exactly.
Yeah, county training. Unfortunately, I've sent the email because it's nice that you've had the communication, but I've let everybody know no more county training. There will be a final session because we come out of lockdown on the 2nd of December, and we've got a few more sessions. We've got a few more sessions across the age groups to capture that last week. With the under 8s and under 9s, I'll be sitting with the coaches and talking and discussing about which players they're going to make the cut for the 2021 sessions, hopefully uninterrupted sessions that we begin with. But remember, the age groups changed as well, so we have to bear in mind all the players have gone up new age groups. But I know the coaches have seen all those great 8s and 9s enough to decide, who's gonna carry on training. And for any players that don't make it into training, make sure that you're not disheartened and you just keep practicing. And it's an open door policy. We have an open door policy. If you get up to the level and you're playing well and you're playing lots and you're allowed to compete, then we're gonna notice you. So everyone is on the radar at all times. But unfortunately, when you book a venue and it says 16 spaces, especially nowadays, we need to sort of 16 spaces. So we can't have 40 players. Because I'm pretty sure that amongst those 16 places, they're not the only spaces that are going to be where the champions come from. There's going to be other players and other sources, other avenues, other walls that people are going to be hitting on. That's where the champions could come as well. So we just have to pretty much keep our spaces right because we have only limited number at our venues. The good news about under 18 County Cup, switching to the other end of the age groups, is that we've been told, haven't we, Lewis, in the office, that something will happen at the end of February and March. I don't think we'll all be rampaging off to the east of Scotland or up north or anywhere too far away. I think it'll probably be something sensibly sort of localized just for the times that we're currently in, because it's going to be tough staying over and knowing which counties are in which tier and which cities, which towns and which players are in which tier. But we've got it on good authority that something will happen at the end of February, March to do with under 18 County Cup. So that is good. I just want to give a big shout out. Last weekend was the Winter Nationals. We interviewed one of our champions from the 12s, Jesse Clarkson, and he played Liam Channon in the final. So that was amazing. But we had the 14s went on last weekend. So I want to give a shout out to all the players that made it into that draw, because you don't have to be a champion of 14, but if you're in the draw, you're doing something pretty good. You're on the right track. So Lucian Mishka from Westside Tennis Club, well done, mate. You made the semi-finals. It's a fantastic job. Well done, Lucien. Great job. Max Carrier, the great thing is if you lose in the first round, go win the consolation. So what did he do? Went and won the consolation, and that's got to be some consolation.
Certainly.
That's my. It doesn't. The jokes don't get any worse than that this week. Also in the boys' draw, remember Jay Johnson, Holdren, well done, mate, and Toby Clark, fantastic, good. You're in the top sort of 16, top 20 of your age group, so that's great. Girls, we love our under 14 girls. We've got a great bunch, and Allegra Korpanek Davis, well done for being in the draw. Rosie Speed, great job. Christine Furry, well done, and Hannah Klugman, also in the 14. I think she's about 6 years old now, Lewis. So she's grown
getting
up
a bit older now.
Getting a little bit older there. She's a bit bigger than that. But no, I think Hannah's still about 11 or 12, so she's doing incredibly well in that 14.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah, so great job. We also had the Winter Nationals for the 11s. And first of all, let's start with the girls this time, because Martha Ground got a wild card into the event, and she went all the way to the final. So great job, Martha, knocking out the number 1 seed in the first round. So well done. I mean, at under 11, remember, we don't know who the top seeds really are, but if they're gonna put someone in that position, then you take them out, we say well done, especially if you're from
of course.
Well done. And well done to Angeli Vasanthen, who made the quarterfinals in that event. The boys 11s, bragging a little bit. Antonin Kotak made the semi-finals.
Yeah. And
the great big news, national champion Mark Saban, under 11 winter national champion. So we had the under 12 Jesse Clarkson last week in the 12s, Mark Saban in the 11s. Oh, I quite like the look of our boys coming up. So
going very nicely.
And I love the picture. If anyone hasn't seen the picture, Mark Saban in his proud Surrey training top with his trophy. And good old Valentina for sending that through to us. So
very proud.
Yeah. So great job to all those players. Well done, because there's not going to be an awful lot of competing going on in the next month.
No.
But
so what would you say to those players who they've been competing, they've got a nice bit of momentum, they're all confident, and then suddenly tennis is taken away from them again? What would your advice be to them? How to deal with that?
Right. Well, you've got a couple of ways of dealing with it, and neither of them are satisfactory answers, really, because you just want to carry on doing what you love to do. But first of all, just when you become a professional player, one of the things that the pros really struggle with mentally, emotionally, and on the same sort of level is when you get injured and you're out, and maybe you've had to have operation and you have to have rehab, and you hear the guy saying it's tough, it's really tough, all I want to do is do what I love. And you can almost sort of pretend, in the same way that we do young players, they go, oh, I pretended that I was serving for Wimbledon, I was pretending that I was playing Nadal in the final, you let my imagination go. You could do the same thing and say, right, well, I'm a pro player, I've been doing really well on the tour, I'm top 50 in the world, and suddenly I've got this little niggle in my shoulder, and the surgeon physio just said, look, take a month off. Take a month off. And the player says, no, I can't. I'm loving it. I'm playing really well. No, you have to take a month off. It's good for your body. Let it recover. Otherwise, it could get worse. And the player says, gee, what am I going to do? So mentally, you could use it as a preparation for becoming a professional player, because you're going to get injured inevitably when you're a pro. So pretend that this is your opportunity to stay involved in the game by watching a lot. Watch a lot of videos. I would suggest that you go onto YouTube and you can look for, I think we've said this before during the first lockdown, is Nadal at 14 years old, Federer at 12. Go onto YouTube and you can put in all these, your top players, Sharapova, put in Serena Williams as a junior. Oh my God, you'd be amazed to see all these players, which you normally wouldn't have time to watch and do learning. So there are going to be some competitions going on. We've got the O2 coming up in a couple of weeks' time, and Surrey's Joe Salisbury is going to be there representing Surrey.
And Surrey's Justin sharing as well, supporting.
We'll be there, and we're going to do an episode of Surrey Tennis Talks from the O2, hopefully from the centre court.
Yeah.
With my mask on, so in the bubble.
Famous blue lights.
Going into that ATP bubble, yeah, it's going to be boom, 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 and no one's going to be there. It's going to be really... But so there is going to be some tennis for the people that are, you know, that are going to miss. They're going to miss competing. But I'm telling you, get out, go play against the wall, beat your record of volleys against the wall, beat your record of forehands against the wall. Go out and do what you did in the first lockdown. We've been through this before, guys. We can do it again. Yeah, we can do this. So that's my top tip. Get out, find a wall. Obviously, if you can hook up with anybody in your family that, hey, juniors, go teach your mum how to play tennis. If she can't play, go teach her how to play. Go teach her how to hold the racket. Go teach her how to help you. Go teach her how to throw the ball at you while you practice your volleys. You know? I don't know. Maybe your mum can play and it's your dad that we need to be getting involved. But you know, teach your dog how to bring the ball back to you after you've hit a serve. Go get it. Go fetch. Bring the ball back, sit, drop. Good dog. Oh, it's all wet now. That's the only thing. It's the only thing you have to do. It's all wet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We can do it though, because we've got a deadline, haven't we? December the 2nd, we're going to all run onto those courts like maniacs, and we're going to be ready.
Exactly. So your advice would very much be keeping the flow of tennis, keep tennis on the mind, keep watching, keep the muscle memory, you know, with the volleys against the wall, just keep everything ticking over until we're back. Yeah,
definitely. And just in your mind think, well, if I was injured right now, what would I'd have to keep the faith somehow. I'd have to keep the tennis faith somehow.
Yeah.
One day, when I'm a pro, I'm going to be injured. So I'm just practicing what the pros do. You know.
There you go. There you go. Lockdown is practice for pro life. That's a very good spin on it. I like it. Good.
It's going to be good. So what about this quiz? Do you think we need another quiz, Lewis? What do you think?
I think we do. I think we do indeed. So anyone who's watching this hopefully may have taken part in our county training quiz that we ran during the first lockdown. It was a huge success. Justin and I put on a quiz which catered for our county training players. So it was geared to questions about, there was some music questions, there was film questions, some Disney questions, of course, a lot of tennis questions as well, because tennis knowledge was very high during the quiz with all our participants. We had some parents involved as well.
There was no cheating, no cheating at all.
Certainly not, of course not. There was
no parents behind the screen sort of going, no, not that one, that one.
We certainly closed our ears to some of those things, but we're going to go for it again because of the success of it. So here's a date for your diary, Friday the 20th of November. I'm going to put that date on the screen now at 6 p.m. Via Zoom. We're going to be running a junior quiz. So the details will be in the description below. And obviously, if you have any questions about it, then there'll be a contact detail for you to get in touch. But it'll be Justin and I putting it on, and hopefully it will provide a lot of entertainment. Because the last one was very fun, wasn't it, Justin?
Oh, it was great fun. We had so many teams. I think we had about 10 or 12 teams from all.
I think more than that. I think
county. Yeah. Did we have more than that? Yeah, all around the county.
Was, yeah.
We want every corner of the county to be represented. So we'll make sure that we put on a good show for you all.
Brilliant. So date for your diary, guys. And like I said, if you have any questions, let us know. Justin, something I wanted to bring up, the age group is obviously changing, age groups. And I know that's caused a bit of confusion amongst the country, I suppose, as sort of competitions adapt and county cups adapt. So I just hoped you might be able just to give a bit of an update about what the changes mean for maybe county cups or indeed competitions as a whole.
Well, it just means that we go from the 2-season system that we've had in place to what it used to be about 8 or 9 years ago, which is what the rest of the world work on. It's you can't turn the age of the tournament that you want to play in you've got until December the 31st. So I'm not explaining that very well at all, from January the 1st, we start in that whole year. That's your year of tennis in your year of birth. So, as you know, previously the idea was a little bit of history. The idea was that this system, this 12-month system, it tends to favor, in terms of funding, in terms of tournament entries, it tends to favor across the world. It tends to favor players that are born in the first 4 or 5 months of the year. If you're born at the end of the year, you're having to compete. If you're, let's say you're born in December, you're having to compete in an age group with someone that could be born on January the 1st of the same year. So they could be nearly a whole year older than you, a whole year stronger than you, a whole year bigger than you. And typically, if you're turning up at sort of selection processes, you know, the coach's eyes are going to be drawn to people that are born in the beginning of the year because they're stronger, have more practice, have more training opportunities. So it was a little bit unfair. So the smart system was to go like a school year, where you know, you work in sort of 2 seasons. But now, you know, now there's enough players out there that are good, that can come through in the September, October, November, December months of the year. But we will still typically see the top players born in the first 4 or 5 months of the year. We will see that.
And do you think, because I've had a few comments from juniors a little bit disappointed who, as you said, are born in the back end of the year. Do you think, though, that gives them the opportunity to always play people who are obviously, as you said, that much stronger, but then in turn their game is sort of raised? So do you think those people born at that end should be too disappointed?
Well, it depends on your mindset. You can look at it that way. That's certainly the way that I would always tell players, look, guys, you're playing against strong players all the time. Oh, yeah, but I'm the weakest, I'm the smallest. Yeah, but you don't have to be the weakest and the smallest between your ears. You can be the strongest. You can be really tough. I mean, you know, I worked 10 years with a guy called Jack Draper, who's a pretty decent player, and just nice to see him back on the tour this past week, back playing a challenger event after a long time off with a stomach injury. You know, it didn't hold him back at all. Born in, I think, December 21st, 22nd, you know, didn't stop him at all. And he was one of the smallest in the age group. So it's how tough you are. It's how resilient you are. It shouldn't really make a difference, but it depends who's telling the player what. If you want to make it an issue, if you want to be a victim of the system, then you're going to be a victim of the system. If you want to just get on with it, see it as a positive. I'm playing against all these guys that are bigger than me, stronger than me, or I can use them to make me better. That's the way I would look at it. It's the way that I would sell it. But it is different, and some people aren't going to get that extra few months. You know, as soon as January the 1st comes, that's it. You're out of it. Whereas players born in the back end would have had all the way through to March 31st. They're not going to get it. But, you know, we're going to survive. We're going to be fine.
Definitely. Brilliant. Fantastic. Right. Well, we're running out of time. So I just wanted to give a quick competitions update from a Surrey perspective. So those competing, or those watching this competing in our National League Junior Team Trophy, or perhaps our Wilson Surrey Leagues or Surrey Knockouts, essentially all play between now and the 2nd of December or all matches previously arranged will have to be postponed, unfortunately, and rearranged for the new year. So all the captains have been informed. So if there's any questions that you have, either speak to your captain, speak to the club itself. But essentially, you know, it's pretty obvious, but because of the lockdown, there'll be no tennis take place from a county competitions perspective. So if you have any questions, of course, you can get in touch with us. So as we finish up, Justin, do you have any positive words for people out there who might be feeling a little down in the dumps, missing their favourite sport?
Yeah, stay active. Remember, endorphins, they're important. Stay active. Run around. If running's not your thing, get your racket out, bounce it around. Just sit on even if you're sitting on the couch watching tennis, get your racket out, bounce it around. Bug your parents, make a noise against the garage door. Get a softball out against the wall. I know loads and loads of players good players that went on to, be irritatingly good, really, really amazingly good, because they just hit more balls than anybody else. Find a wall in your house, get a softball out, hit 200, send your videos in. Tell us how many you can make against and which wall. You know, go into every house, go into every room in your house with a little racket and a softball, and have a record. In the kitchen, I made 200 while mum was cooking. In the bathroom upstairs, You know, while my big sister was banging on the door, I made 50 quickly, 50 forehand backhands. She was really annoyed, but my backhand volley got better, you know? So I don't know. Be imaginative. Send them in. Please tell us how irritating you could be to fellow members of your household.
Yeah,
tennis will win. Tennis will win.
Tennis will win. Exactly. Wise words. And I think we'll certainly come up with some challenges, I think, and we'll send some challenges out via social media. So do keep posted with that. But brilliant. Well, as always, thank you, Justin. We'll see you next week, guys. So it's thank you from me. Thank you from Justin, and we'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.